Yo, yo, what up? Three times. You already know who it is. Ghost, aka Amy's son, man. Shout out to the people. We here. You know what we're here to talk about. It says it as a title. We're here to talk about the Chainsaw Man movie. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, right? I took a lot of notes watching this movie. So you gotta bear with me, right? We're gonna go through these as I'm, getting into it, but I just didn't want to miss nothing because it was the movie was so incredible. I wanted to make sure that I captured everything just as I'm relaying this to y'all, right? Cool. So for we all know, right? I've been excited and waiting since Chainsaw Man dropped in 2022, right? Seen the trailer, it was fire. Watched the first season with Denji in the game, was awesome, right? It ended and was kind of, just left waiting, wondering, all right, new season coming soon. And then boom, they hit us with the announcement. The movie's coming. Now I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? The movie coming, what it's gonna be, the trailer comes, amazing. Mappa does what it always does, right? So I already knew what it was gonna be. So, right, the good thing about this movie too, it immediately takes place after the first season. So it's not a you trying to figure out where they at. It immediately takes place right after that, right? And a lot of things have changed after the first season, right? So Denji, Aki, and Power are now living together, right? But after the events of the last big battle and multiple deaths, each of them have their own new dynamic that changes their path in this film, right? Starting with Aki. Aki's new partner is Angel, a devil who drains the life of anyone he touches. Crazy, right? Denji and Power are now separate. Power has to have a blood drained. That was crazy to that she be so OP that she gotta she gotta have her shit drained because she just be too out of control, right? Um, and on top of that, she sprouted two new horns. Now they didn't go into detail as telling us as to why, right? But I thought that was fire because I feel like she about to have like some new incredible power that she going unleash and show us. Then they partnered Denji with Beam, which was like the shark character, devil. I don't know. But yeah, he loves Denji. Like he praises Denji like he's Jesus. You know what I mean? Like from the minute he saw Denji, hopped up, hugged him. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like he was rocking. So and the good thing about this movie isn't based solely around devils, hunters, and etc. It's really mainly about love and heart. Denji's heart to be exact. the Reese the Reese arc is another map, a masterpiece of adaptation and animation, right? They're known Mappa is known as a company. They're known for their extraordinary action animation. But in this movie, it takes place like later in the second half. So in the beginning, you're more so just engulfed in the story, right? The emotion first before we get to the wreck and the anarchy and the carnage, right? So the movie starts with Makima and Denji going on a movie date. Now, I'm excited because I'm like, finally, my man Denji gets a date with Makima. Now we know she has hidden motives as to why she's using this to her advantage, right? But in that moment, I was just happy that it felt like Denji was finally starting to get something that he wanted, right? So they show him going through different movies, right? Watching different movies, and they bad. Makia don't really like him. Denji don't really care. He's just happy to be there with her until they got to the final movie. And no matter what Denji could do, he tried to fight it, right? Busted into tears. Just so happens to look to the right or the left, I think. Well, he looks to the side of him and notices that Makima is crying as well. So to him, that was a score because we have something that we can relate on with how good this movie was, right? Now, the crazy thing is, right? Even even with this going on, realistically for Denji, this has been his love life and his existence overall. A lot of bad, repeatedly, and then that one moment of good, right? So for almost an hour, Denji gets to feel close to someone, right? Denji declares his heart to Makina. Listen, I want you. I got to have it. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody else but you. Oddly enough, that was really the only time we really got to see Makima until towards the end of the film, right? But her being there in that moment, it resonated with us, with the audience, with the viewers. You know what I mean? It stuck with us because we were excited, like what's gonna happen next as far as between her and Denji. Um, so while Denji, every moment Denji gets, right, he's head over heels. He's always thinking about Makima, right? Makima, my fault. And all he's thinking is, I gotta hurry up and finish this quest, right? I gotta get all these devil, the devil gun flesh. I got to get it all so that I can get wifey, and we can live our life and do our thing, right? I could relate. You know what I mean? You trying to score shorty. It's a couple things you got to do first, right? Personally, I don't. I think something. And I don't read the manga, so I don't know. But I really feel like Makina is gonna like try to kill Denji, and I could be wrong, but I just feel like that because we know she's using him. I don't really feel like she likes him, so I feel like something's gonna happen where they're gonna end up having to rumble each other. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Um. So, but like I said though, Denji just wanted to get the rest of the Gun Devil's flesh so he could finally ask her to be his girlfriend, right? So while he's walking, in the days, love and all that, he just happened to go into a booth because it's raining. And while he's in a booth, beautiful girl stumbles in the booth. His life has changed forever, right? This particular girl is Reze, right? She immediately laughs at him and compares him to her dog. Now I'm gonna be honest, that was wild disrespectful because you're not gonna laugh and look at me, right, as beautiful as you are, and compare me to your dog. Like that's crazy. But nonetheless, they hit it off immediately. You know what I mean? And despite him trying to keep his focus on Makima, every chance he got, he was going to Reggie's cafe, family owned a cafe. He was going there every day, sit with her, watch her study, you know what I mean, and just be around her. He was loving it, you know what I mean? And she was loving the energy too. They skinny dipped, they joked. And despite his one track mind, there's an innocence to their relationship that continually reminds the audience that Denji is still a teenager. And while he's a teenager, right? He's a teenager that's been through so much trauma. He's fought. He's had his body torn apart. He would, you know what I mean? He's eating out the garbage. And up until that exact point in his life, he didn't know what it was like to have a comfortable home set, right? That was important. And everything about Denji is depressing, and yet that toothy smile of his continues, right? He's just a if I can compare Denji to anything, I would compare him to a city mouse that no matter the danger around him, right, he just want to enjoy some good food, you know what I mean? And now that he has Renji, he feel like he has love until he doesn't, right? Now, the tenderness of this movie cannot be understated, right? There is a softness in the first hour of this film that is so moving as a viewer. You care deeply for Denji and his love, but when she finally reveals herself, right, the sharp reality of the world Denji lives in cannot be escaped. It's fucked up, right? Now, when now before she reveals herself, right, there's a segment that I really thought was like super, super, super duper hard. While they was chilling and hanging out, they was showing the spider capturing the butterfly, right? And it showed it right up until the point that the spider had the butterfly wrapped in its web, which lets us know that Denji was in danger. While he's thinking he's close to her, he's falling deeper into the trap. Boom, she reveals herself. Come to find out, she's the bomb devil. And Lord have mercy. When she reveals herself, the movie transforms into a larger than life battle. It's like a string being cut, separating the narrative's romance from its violence. Yet the audience can feel the shift in tone while Denji remains tethered to Rezi, right? Now, Denji is still in love with love, and yet every devil wants to take his regenerating chainsaw heart, but they don't want his. No matter how badly he wants to give his heart to someone, his humanity isn't love. Every girl Denji has tried to love has tried to kill him or die. That's painful to think about. Even he had a moment in there where he screamed, "Yo, everybody wants Chainsaw Heart, but what about Denji's heart?" Like I felt that. You know what I mean? You felt that. It made you like, yeah, what about Denji? Is my man ever gonna find love? I don't think so. Right? But one thing I can treasure about this experience, and I also left out that I saw this in 4DX. So the 4DX 3D just made it a million times better because once we get to the second half that I'm getting ready to talk about, as far as with the bomb devil, oh, it gets crazy. The seats moving, you feel like you right there flying, trying to dodge the attacks, right? But um, the movie captured the audience, right? And it curated that experience. The 4DX curated that experience very well. The movie captured the audience as well. But yeah, so once the battle kicks off, it turns into an entirely different film. Explosive mutilations happen, the city is ripped apart, and people are brutally killed. I ain't gonna front. That's my type of shit right there. I love it when we get to that. Like I like the emotion, but I love when we get to the wreck. You feel me? So Once we get into that, the film doesn't. The good thing about it too is even with the high octane violence, the film doesn't lose itself in the blood. It balances the humor. Like prime example, Ali, the Chainsaw Man, was riding through the storm on Beam at that point, which had turned into a shark. So we still got the humor mixed in with the anarchy, right? I can appreciate that, right? Now, Aki and Angel Devil, right? They made the most of their limited screen time. They wasn't around for a bit, but the moments they were, to me, were important, right? So the good is weird. They're opposed to each other, right? Aki hates devils and Angel has no empathy for humans. The irony of their partnership is that Aki's life has been drastically cut in half thanks to his contract with his devil, right? And Angel is a devil whose simple touch will drain your life. So when you think about that, right, my life is already over on this side. And then I got somebody who literally with a single touch can drain the rest of it, right? So both men are a walking tragedy, but what's clear is how close they become over the course of the film, impacting each other more deeply than you would assume. As side characters in the movie, right, they still hold emotional weight. Now, while it's easy to think audiences are drawn to Chainsaw Man for its intense action or even moments of fan service, Tatsuki Fujimoto's story resonate because it has heart, right? Now listen, the bomb devil was going the fuck off. Do you hear me? I'm talking about body parts everywhere. She played no games. I'm gonna be honest. I personally think I'm gonna nominate her to go to the table of wreck. Because once she showed herself, she wasn't with none of the extra shit, right? None of that. I'm talking about strangers. If you was in front of me, you were getting blown to bits. You had pieces everywhere, on here, leg on the fence. It didn't matter, right? My type of party. You know what I mean? So, as a whole, though, right? Denji is deeply lonely, abused by the world, and yet he doesn't stop trying. I love that about Denji, right? He doesn't stop trying to find his love or a life that's worth living. His loneliness isn't essential to the story, as are the devils he's chasing. The movie thrives because it's simply amazing storytelling. Now, me personally, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, personally, right? The movie was just that amazing to me, just that awesome to me. But I got something I want to speak on, man. And I'm going to take my glasses off because I need you to see me when I tell you this. I've been hearing the talks, I've been having conversations with people outside and online. And there's this thing that people are feeling like Chainsaw Man is better than the Demon Slayer movie. I'm here to tell you right now, all cap, big cap too. No way, shape, form, or fashion is Chainsaw Man movie better than Demon Slayer. And I'm gonna tell you why. Do you remember, right, the end of the first season of Chainsaw Man? Right? Cool ending, but it was okay. Now we're waiting for season two. But there was nothing that really pulled us, right? But you remember how you felt when you watched the end of the Hashira training, huh? When them doors slid open, huh? When Michael Muzan Jackson moonwalked, huh, into that compound, huh? And seeing, yo, listen, we not gonna do this. Okay, when they even ended that season, they left us on a cliffhanger, emotional roller coaster like Vivian Green, right? We were in that movie theater ready in an uproar. We've been waiting for that moment to finally get in the Muzan's castle where the unlimited wreck went down, right? Your feelings was up, down, left, right, all over the place. Now, Chainsaw Man provided some dope moments, right? Emotion and all that included, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion is it better than Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is anime of the year, movie wise. I don't care what else is coming out this year. They got it. Hang it up. I get it, right? Demon Slayer is one of them anime people just love to hate just cause. But it's nothing no anime is doing with them what they did with that movie. Period. And we still got two more to go. So hang that up, man. I just had to tell you that. I needed you to see the look in my eyes and understand, right? Enough of the bullshit. Cut it. Okay? It's not better. It's not better. But again, I'm excited for the new season of Chainsaw Man that's coming, and anything else that Mappa does. I'm a huge fan. I love what they do, and I can't wait, man. And this summarizes my movie review for Chainsaw Man. I thank you. Appreciate you for popping in, man. Till next time.